Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves, and today I am talking to you about Bruckner Symphony Number 5. Now, this is possibly the most Brucknerish of all the Bruckner symphonies, the one that really nobody else could have come close to writing, that has the most unbelievable originality of form and substance. It's such an incredible piece and such a quirky piece, such a strange piece. It really, really is a remarkable piece of music. And happily, it only exists in one version, so we don't have to worry about critical editions and all that kind of nonsense, although there is a Baudelarized version that fortunately has long since been ignored, except that Leon Botstein recorded it. And some people are trying to bring it back because, well, they say it's what was done in Bruckner's lifetime, even though no one told him and he didn't know, and it was... We don't want to go there. There is one version of the fifth. And the reason there's only one is because it's such a weird piece that it was never performed as Bruckner wrote it in his lifetime. Never, ever. And you kind of understand why, because it has, that weird introduction of slow chorale and then this rising arpeggio. And then it's in B-flat major, but it's not really. It's always in sort of major minor. You don't know expressively exactly where it's going. It's partly majestic, partly neurotic. It has that opening tune, ya da 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 da, ba da dum, ba dum, ba-dum, 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 and you hear it like 30 trillion times, and it really is very catchy. It gets stuck in your head forever. I first heard it when I was like 7 or 8, and I listened to it. I was like, what the hell is this? I put it on and I was listening, and all I came away from it with was ya da 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 da. I couldn't get it out of my head. I had no idea what the rest of it was. I really didn't. And then it has this very broad, slow movement that's really not like any other that Bruckner wrote, in the sense that, they're all adagios, and they all are in the same sort of A form, more or less. But it's still, again, emotionally, it's kind of ambivalent. It's lonely, somewhat desolate, then somewhat solemn and warm, and it begins with a strange pizzicato motive, dum bum 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 bum, like that, which turns out to be the opening theme or motive of the scherzo, the third movement, dum bum 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 bum. It really is. It's such a cool piece. And then there's the finale. The finale does Bruckner's take on Beethoven's Ninth. All the other themes come back, and he sort of rejects them. And then it begins this huge galumphy fugue on a theme that sounds a lot like the theme from the Flintstones. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family. You can basically sing it. It's not exactly the same tune, but close enough, as makes no difference. And then that peters out, and then there's this big chorale, and then there's this huge double fugue where the chorale theme and the original theme pops in, and then the theme from the first movement comes wailing in, and this huge chorale breaks out at the end with everything going crazy, and I don't know. It's just marvelous. It's just this big, giant Brucknerian lump of music. What does it mean? Anybody's guess. It does, I think, conclude in an atmosphere of great spiritual exaltation. I think everybody would agree with that. And it's a very, very hard symphony to do because it's so peculiar. Because really, as Eugen Joachim said, nothing really happens until the end. It's an hour and 20 minutes long, or hour and 15 minutes long, and all of this stuff is happening, but the meat of it really is the last 5 minutes, when all the themes get combined in the final chorale. You wait a long time to get to that last 5 minutes. So the key to a great performance of Bruckner's Fifth is not boring you to death until you get to that last 5 minutes, making that last 5 minutes sound inevitable, like a destination that you've been shooting at all the time, by constantly retaining your interest, by making the other movements as fascinating as Bruckner intended, and they are. I mean, there's no excuse for not doing it, but you have to do it. They're not going to do it by themselves. And my favorite performance, and I think this was actually my however performance too, and my big Bruckner talk, repertoire talk, was this one. Wolfgang Sawallisch with the Bavarian State Orchestra on Orfeo. It is such a natural, organic, breathing, ample, humane, warm, luscious, fun to listen to, colorful performance. It really has all of that. You know, the big thing that bugs the crap out of me in this piece is that at the end, when you get to the final chorale, you should not have a congealed, glutinous mess of brass tone. Everything has to stand out. You've got the trumpets, you've got the trombones that are going bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. You know, they're doing that thing. And you've got the horns playing sort of a counterpoint to the whole thing. Everything has to remain distinct, even though they all have to play flat out, as crazy loud as they can, because Brahms marks it like triple forte till the end, undifferentiated. And you can't differentiate it too much. You can't poke at it. You can't pick at little bits. It's a classical example of the ability of an orchestra to play loud, something that so many orchestras can't do anymore. They play smooth. And that's wrong. That's so wrong. This has to be loud and colorful. They have to be able to differentiate timbres and maintain textural transparency, even at full volume. And that's where most performances tank, or a lot of them do, actually, but not Savalish. This has all of that color and all of that variety that you want to hear right up to the very end. It keeps the music vital and alive, and it's wonderfully recorded in a big, warm, natural acoustic that lets all of the echo that you sort of want with Bruckner, you know, that sort of resonance to have a natural bloom over the orchestra without obscuring anything. It's just glorious. Absolutely glorious. So this, my friends, is my Bruckner Fifth, when I feel like a Bruckner Fifth. Such a great piece, and it's so weird. I just can't get over it. It's one of those marvels, you know, that it just seems like it just hatched, fully formed from, you know, Zeus's brain, like Athena, just popping out. This thing is just an anomaly, and a great, great anomaly. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you for joining me. Take care.